In the words of great writer Napoleon Hill, whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. It is the same ideal that we have gathered here to honor today at IIM Bangalore, as we continue to strive to illuminate our minds with light of wisdom and change. A very good morning, a very good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of Team VISTA and IIM Bangalore, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this edition of VISTA, the annual International Business Summit of IIM Bangalore. The way we do business is evolving at a blinding pace today, with the advent of increasing innovation and rapid changes in economic paradigms. Although our lives continue to revolve around the quest for success, mere personal achievements are no longer the barometer to measure the same. We are now placing an increasing emphasis on the need to make a difference in the world and to contribute meaningfully towards social and national advancement. And that is no easy task. It is only the inspiration we kindle within us that allows us to aspire to lofty goals and pushes us to achieve them as well. At IIM Bangalore, we believe that the world of tomorrow will need inspired leaders rather than just efficient ones. Leaders who are ready to make personal sacrifices to bring about a positive transformation across the economic and social landscape. It is with the same belief that VISTA is proud to embrace the theme of Inspire, Aspire and Achieve this year, and we hope we can all emulate and live up to it through our thoughts and actions at VISTA 2013. Once again, welcome to VISTA and IIM Bangalore.
Hello everyone. I would like to invite Dr. Padmashri Srinivasan. Dr. Padmashri Srinivasan is a faculty in the Finance and the Control area at IIM Bangalore. Dr. Srinivasan's research interests include corporate disclosure practices, corporate governance, managerial accounting, and corporate income tax. She was a co-member of the team consulting for the International Finance Corporation for the BWSSB water supply and sewerage project. She has also authored several articles and published in various renowned journals and has also handled numerous accounting and finance projects in the industry. Thank you, ma'am. On stage to share a few thoughts.
Yeah, participants of the VISTA program, invited guests, sponsors, faculty, staff of IIM Bangalore, students, a warm welcome to all of you to this IIMB VISTA 2013 function. I also take this opportunity to welcome Padmashri Kamal Haasan ji, who has taken time from his busy schedule to deliver the keynote address today on the theme Inspire, Aspire and Achieve. As you all know, VISTA is the annual business summit function of IIM Bangalore, overseen by FII Club and organized in collaboration with almost all the clubs of the students at IIM Bangalore. Every year we have seen VISTA get bigger and bigger, almost more than 800 colleges participating with thousands of contestants online and others who also come here to participate in this program. I think VISTA is best known to be one of the biggest and the best B-school event all around the country. As faculty, I am quite amazed at the way in which students handle this function, right from sponsors, organizing events online, other places and so on. And despite their hectic schedules in terms of quizzes, endless exams, and still they find time to organize and participate in such events. The range of events in VISTA brings the brightest of minds in the country who will be competing for the best in most of these events. Events such as VISTA are very important in management education as they test the participants' intellectual prowess, leadership skills, decision-making ability, communication, and quick thinking, which is what we need in today's business world. Despite being successful in their field, I think management students of IIM Bangalore in particular are quite aware of their social responsibility, and that's why this year's VISTA has got 2 or 3 events such as the Make-A-Wish Tree Foundation, Make-A-Wish Tree that we have just put outside the auditorium, and in the Joy of Giving Week, we also organizing a one day at IIMB function. Okay, and the money collected through the one day at IIMB again goes to certain NGOs which are partnering institutions for IIM Bangalore. We all have wishes and aspire for them to come true, and some get fulfilled, some remain wishes for a lifetime, and therefore I urge students and others, participants, to take active part in the Making a Wish Tree, at least choose whatever is in their might and try and fulfill wishes of some of those underprivileged children that are there. Inspire, Aspire and Achieve, which is the talk for today's VISTA as well as the keynote address. As tomorrow's leaders, we have lofty goals, which is our aspiration. What we aspire to do stirs inspiration to others to join in. With the right mix of inspiration and aspiration, something magical happens and we achieve our goals. IIMB is a spirited place which fuels one's aspirations and we achieve great things. As leaders, we need to accomplish meaningful goals, calling ourselves inspiring to others and achieve bigger and better things for common good. Today's business schools are at crossroads and we have to take a hard look at their value propositions. We need to go beyond quarter-on-quarter results and feel-good moments to do things that matter for a long-haul journey in life. And of course, celebrating success all the way. The core of future leaders is to move beyond knowing theories, knowing frameworks, knowing 2x2 squares. We need to go beyond knowing to doing. And in doing, we learn practical things. And VISTA is one example of from knowing to doing. And from knowing and doing, we have to move towards being, which is even more relevant in today's context, when we have to take along with us all the people who are part of our organization, part of our country in fact. And I think VISTA today is a combination of all three, which is knowing, doing and being. So I once again welcome all the participants and thank you for taking active participation in this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Padmini ma'am. Though the name in itself is enough of a description, but for the benefit of all, Padmashri Dr. Kamal Haasan is an actor par excellence, having scaled innumerable peaks in the art of cinema. He has the experience in almost every aspect of filmmaking, from production, direction, screenwriting to choreography and dancing and singing. He has won 4 national awards and more than 18 Filmfare Awards for his portrayal on screen. Dr. Kamal Haasan has the unique distinction of having enacted 10 roles in the critically and commercially successful movie Dashavataram, and the audience are still in awe of his portrayal as a dwarf in the movie Appu Raja. His versatility has no linguistic boundaries, which is evident from some of the path-breaking movies he's done over the years. Sagar, Ek Tujhe Ke Liye, Sagra Sangamam, Swati Mutyam, Nayagan, Heram and Anbesavam deserve special mention for their varying themes and impactful acting. He's also considered to a director with ideas far ahead of its time. An example of this is the cartoon sequence in his critically acclaimed Abhay, which has an inspiration to a similar sequence in the Tarantino's Kill Bill series. Padmashri Dr. Kamal Haasan is a perfect embodiment of VISTA 2013's theme of Inspire, Aspire and Achieve. He's been inspired by many during his nascent stage as an actor, has managed to extend his aspirations to a level not known to many and mounted achievements upon achievements that are difficult to emulate. I'd now like to invite Viveka on stage to welcome Dr. Kamal Haasan. They say knowledge removes ignorance, just as light dispels darkness. Sir, we request you to join us as we light the lamp of knowledge here at IIM Bangalore. I would now request the Ulaganayagan, the one and only Sakala Kala Vallavan, Padmashri Dr. Kamal Haasan, to deliver the keynote address and declare VISTA 2013 open.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Padmashri Kamal, thank you for inviting me. I presume I'll have to broach the subject of inspire, aspire, and achieve, as it is a norm to talk about the theme. But let me warn you that all these three could be mistaken for something else in this country. Instigation, is mistaken for inspiration. I'm not only talking about the politicians, I'm talking about every field in this country. And aspiration is mistaken for avarice. And mere activities are mistaken to be achievements. I think it would only be the young minds who would focus and hit the nail on the head. As time goes, you become, in the name of pragmatism, complacent and willing to compromise. This is the time when your dreams are afresh. This is the time to ask questions. So this is the best place for me to learn. It's a mutually inspiring, mutually aspiring, mutually achieving platform that I've come to. So my keynote will be very small, a small key and a small note. Pontification is something I abhorred even as a student, and that's probably the reason why I dropped out of school. I think I will not indulge in it after having hated it so much. I have nothing much to offer except the mistakes that I have done while trying to go about my business. That is the lesson that I could offer. That's a credible lesson that you could take from my life as a film artist. I call myself a film artist. I arrogate myself to call myself that because I think even entrepreneurship in this particular industry that I am involved in amounts to art. You can't just number crunch and put this content on a treadmill and then let it flow. Unlike other industries, every time it is almost close to the newspaper industry. Every day is another day. And every product is different. We have advertising, we have promotion, we have sales, we have losses, but every time it's different. So if you think you're all still learning and it's a long way to go, that's where we are. Now, the reason why I came here is a very personal, very self-serving reason. Call it selfish. People often mistake that my industry, the entertainment industry, is full of entertainers, and if you have the expertise or the aspiration to become one, and that's about it. But this is a business primarily. And we need entrepreneurs. And we're celebrating 100 years of cinema. And the man who first did it was an entrepreneur. He was trying to make it into a business. He made it. He succeeded. I'm sure that in his own lifetime he had seen what was considered to be an experiment turn into a thriving business. And my request to you is to come into my industry with entrepreneur skills. And that's needed there. I won't say it's lacking, but it's minimal. The very fact that you count the number of hotels in India and count the number of hotel management institutes in the country, count the number of cinema theaters, count the number of audience, and look at the number of film institutes in the country. It's abysmal, and silly. Nobody has thought about it. And I say silly because I'm not blaming society, because we as an industry did not go forth and seed for tomorrow. We're all interested in harvesting, and that itself is social service. And that we forgot about that social service is what is ailing us. I know it's not a positive sounding keynote address, but it is an invitation for people like you to enter into this field. If you say that, where is that opportunity? Can you show me one? I would only say, create the opportunity. Invest in that opportunity. You will probably be able to see the niche, the entrance to my industry, probably even more than I can. I can show you through the labyrinths, but you would be able to make your own maps in this industry. And my primary reason for coming here is to put forth this invitation to you. While critics might ask, who are you to give this invitation on our behalf? I think anyone can. It's such an open industry, such a versatile medium, that all your ideas could be encompassed by this fantastic medium, which is not going to stay inside dark rooms for long. It's going to come into handheld machines. And that's the future. And slowly settle down to a very futuristic idea where the business would be to offer entertainment from content within our customer's brain. So you don't create content. They have the content, you embellish it. And that, I think, is the future of entertainment industry as I see it. I mean, many more scientists will have to go to work to realize my dream. But it's there, it's happening. We are going towards it now, without any more flapping of the jaw. I'll come to the questions and answers. So it'll make my subject easier for me to broach. The questions now.
That you learned from your movies that did not fare well despite the excellent quality?
There's so many. The product becomes an independent problem, an independent achievement. So when you ask me the financial implications of it, so many things. We thought the smaller movies were the way to go, wrong. We thought the bigger movies were the right path, wrong. But that's not the rule. There's always technology coming in to break away. We thought bigger theaters, smaller theaters, no theaters, all are right, all are wrong. So when we were crying for more theaters to be built, that's a right cry, that's a right clarion call. But that doesn't satisfy the customer need. That doesn't sort of meet the supply, does not meet the demand when you build enough theaters, because the technology has taken it even further. So the profit and loss situation is always spend little, earn more, the basics. Especially here, there's an invisible product called talent, where you can't put a price on. Once it succeeds, there's a price put on it, and it keeps increasing exponentially when the talent continuously succeeds. We are examples. The stars are a great example that we start. I started with 2,500 rupees for my second film. First film was 500 rupees as I was a teenager. And now, fortunately, I can disclose my income. It is 100,000 times more because I pay my taxes. If you ask me about social service, I consider that one, because I can loudly complain about a pothole in the road, corruption in politics, corruption in any management, because I am not in compliance with that corruption. That's the only authority that you can have to talk against it, for which you'll have to really take your side and keep the lines clearly drawn. And coming back to your question, you can't actually encapsulate it in a small answer. You'll have to be more specific on what financials you're talking about. Let me tell you what is lacking in the industry is people are still not willing to take a completion guarantee, insure their project. So there's no insurance, there's no safety, there's no exit clause. So the entry of the banks and all are not happening as it should, because they're treading carefully, because it's not terra firma according to them. So these are the things. So you'll have to create finance. You'll have to invent certain new methodologies to bring in finance into the industry. That's where I need guys like you, because you'll have to convince the investor into coming into equity, lending money, or you'll have to put the numbers, crunch the numbers, hold and see, have a dry run and see that it happens when it is actually, have a parallel study of what happened to your plans and what went wrong. I always say that Murphy is a partner in my company. I'm the sleeping partner. He's always awake. When you hear about Blackwater, you know where it came from. It came from those stories. And when you talk about disappointment, it probably comes from, I'm sorry to psychoanalyze as psychologists, but it could be. I might be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong, corrected, because that I consider to be part of my learning process. But I think that could have been from you expecting happy endings all the time. And so I think you didn't get it, because I think in some ways Arnold Schwarzenegger refined what Buddha said and brought it to bodybuilding lingo. No pain, no gain. And pain is the only reminder that you're alive and still kicking and not at the bucket. And so I would say that the first hurdle you'll have to overcome is your disappointment, because that's what I learned. I don't know whether that's a right prescription or the right diagnosis, but I think the first thing I overcame was my disappointment. So I think all other hurdles will be easy after that. Thank you, ma'am.
Honored to meet you. As a marketing student, I should ask you this question. So, could you please share with us the reason and logic behind your attempt at releasing Vishwarupam in DTH? Because we all know that cinema has a very complex web of networks where the stakeholders and dependents are many.
You know what that means to future and tomorrow. That's where disappointment comes from. They have vested in invested in an obsolete equipment and are sticking onto it and impeding progress. I don't call them villains, I just call them ill-informed about the future. And they're trying to cover up their mistakes, or unwilling to accept and move forward. That's why society waits. I think the advent of digital cinema waited at least for 2 decades, because those with vested interests delayed it as long as they can. I think the same would apply for cure for diabetes. when it comes closer and closer to home, you'll understand what I mean by it. I hate to make enemies. And I hate to make friends with people without ideologies. But that doesn't mean I insist on drawing the lines and making them my enemy, but the cap fits them, they wear it. And it's not my purpose to tap that cap out of off their head. It's not a crown, it's a cap they fancied. Now about DTH, let me come to you. Constantly you hear this a grievance from the film industry that the video pirates are taking it away. They name names, they call Mr. Dawood Ibrahim, and if you ask him, he'll say, I'm an entrepreneur who's extramural. I didn't study in IIM, but I have my own rules. So, are we doing the right thing? Is only policing the only way? Is danda the only way? Is samadana bed? We have not tried all that. We've straight away gone to the least productive defense. And so I think the problem that ails this industry, why the pirates thrive, is because we have not met the demands. We are only talking about short supply. We are not trying to improve. Once again, I was telling you, technology is not an impediment, but it's an additional tool. And that's what I was trying to do. Can I ask you an embarrassing question, all of you? Okay. You don't have to be honest, because I know the answer. How many of you have watched movies on torrent? There are socially conscious persons who didn't lift their hands. I understand. The rest of you are honest. I blame it on your age. So, why are you watching it on torrent? Not because you hate cinema, but you love cinema. And we have not made any attempt to reach that cinema to you. You would have paid to see a better quality if you don't have to wait for that irritating buffering time. Isn't it? I should have put up my hand along with you, but I saw it only to see what ails me. That's not my habit. Fortunately, my friends will show me their films if I ask them. Or if I go to a film festival where I'm often invited. So, that was the reason, ma'am, that I went to DTH. Like your grandfather or grandmother, if they are in good health and outgoing, then probably not them. But if they're not, then these people are my yesterday's fans, and I'm not catering to them. I've forgotten all about them. Pregnant women, children, busy housewives, busier entrepreneurs, they never come to theaters. So my idea was to reach it to them. Let me tell you a strange kind of anomaly in my film industry. You must have heard people bandying about numbers like 100 crores is a thing, and they celebrate it. And people are trying to get into that 100 crore club. I think it's like saying who has the dirtiest jeans. Yeah, it's a good way to go, but there are three-piece suits awaiting us also. And let me tell you, calculate. There are some guys who are good at it here. I'm very sure. I'm not. So this is a country of 1 billion, and cinema tickets are 100 rupees, almost unanimously in every state, almost. Legally, sometimes, illegally sometimes, but that's the amount, 100 rupees per ticket. So how long does it take to make a film 100 crore hit, grosser? 1 crore people. If only 1% of the people of India are watching films, why is it such a successful medium? Why is everybody talking about it? We should have shut down the industry by now for all the money we spend. What you hear is tip of the iceberg. That's why I invite you all to come into this magnificent industry. A good film will make 1 billion rupees if we show more transparency and show less avarice in each department. That's why I tried DTH. That's not the total cure. It's not a remedy. It's a pain relief.
What's your thought on the current and the future state of Indian cinema? And where do we stand when we compare it with the international film scenario? And especially, is the craze behind the Oscars justified?
You, sir, produce a product in India. Is an American standard TAPA useful to you? Or ISI? That is my answer. People think that I am talking of Oscars like sour grapes and say that, yeah, he didn't get it, so he's making fun of Oscars. I will love to get it when I do an American film. I'll deserve it more. I don't want to win an Oscar. I know what it means. We are a country who says Atiti Devo Bhava. There's a bit of hyperbole there when you get an Oscar as a guest in America. It is an American standard. I respect that standard, but it doesn't mean anything. It shouldn't mean anything to India. Miss America shouldn't mean anything to Miss India. If you ask me, Miss India means nothing to me because I think my mother is the most beautiful woman. Most sons feel that their mother is uncrowned queen of the beauty world. I know I'm sort of ribbing two institutions at the same time. But that's the way cookie crumbles.
Sir?
Yes, and as far as, sorry, I'm a bit slow. I'm a high school dropout. So when you're talking about the state of Indian art, we should cease to be imitators, and it's easy to imitate because it's the best possible thing to do. If you look at Chhatrapati Shivaji Sahab's costume, it's like a Mughal emperor. If you look at Gandhiji's and Nehru's early day costumes, it looks like a Britisher. You imitate your enemy. And that's what India is doing. But what is the strength is to become, the more ethnic you become, the more international you become. So I think an answer to Rohit Shetty Saab and various other successful filmmakers is that they are also part of the industry, but they are not the industry. So that is a balance we'll have to strike. And what ails the industry is the industry has not invested back into the industry. They've taken money and run. It's like oil wells. Nobody pours any oil back into it. Not even do they dump dead dinosaurs to make future oil.
Of all fans of your comedy genre, we believe that no one can deliver Crazy Mohan's dialogue better than you. So when do we get to see you and him back in a partnership?
No, see, I'd like to copy a line from Mr. Balachandar, who incidentally is also a great humor writer. For Crazy and me, he is one of the inspirations. The thing is, he's the writer, humor writer that I want to be, and I'm the actor that he wants to be. So we are a great team. We, in our collaboration, we don't even check or have a checklist of who said what, or whose puns or punches got more of an applause. He's a very serious man, if you talk to him in private. But comedy is serious business, and people with angry things to say it cleverly without agitating through humor. So that's what we do, and if it would give you any pleasure, the next film that I'm doing will be in collaboration with Crazy Mohan. Another friend of mine who lives in Bangalore, Ramesh Aravind, will be directing it. I'll be writing the script, and hopefully, if Mr. K. Balachandar agrees, he'll be acting in the film. And tentatively, it is called Uttama Villan Yengira Bitter Chocolate.
Sir, I have Haasan as the director. So in the current industry, if you see, there are a lot of short film makers, competition winners who are making it big in the industry. Do you think this is going to change the face of the direction field itself? Because a lot of youngsters are getting chance. So the number two, if you want both together. I'm a very, very big diehard fan of Rajnikant and a maniac fan of Kamal. So is there any way I can see both of them together before
The reason why we stopped acting together was that they were splitting one remuneration. One biscuit was broken into two and was handed over to us. And we realized that we had individual potentials and we were sharing the loot. There were other banks to break. So that's when we decided that we should split. That's the same reason that's stopping us from uniting together. Because right now, both of us take half of what it costs to make our films. It's all thanks to this kind of applause that we have reached that. And what was the other question? Sorry. Two. Directors. Yes. It's like someone saying, I'm very good in short distance driving. Many short filmmakers have been great filmmakers. But feature-length film it's a difference between sprinting and marathon. Two different kind of sports. Fact that we don't respect short films wants most short filmmakers to graduate to what they think is a better position, feature filmmaking. But I think short films can be more socially relevant, conscious, and respectable if if they understand the medium fully. Some of the greatest films are only 30 seconds long. They are ad filmmakers. They're brilliant, but many, except Ridley Scott and a few others, have failed when they came to make feature films. I'm not discouraging them, because it's a welcome change in Tamil cinema. But are they trained? My question is that. It's only in cinema that a compounder can become a doctor after years of experience. That's wrong. That will lead to disease. Or at least wrong diagnosis and bad prescriptions. Always the one to come. And the other list, you tell me, what's your favorite film of mine? Or is it just a question?
No, I've watched Appu Raja, so
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
Okay. Okay, there have been films which everyone liked and applauded for two reasons. One, they didn't vanish with awards without any collection. Two, they did win critical acclaim, like Pushpak, Sagar Sangamam, many of Mr. Balchandra's films. So I also echo your thought, but there are films that have failed, which are my favorites. No, I'm not playing a mother who's more kinder to a bad son or a stricken son. So I'm not doing that. They're truly films, and the reason for some of the films succeeding is not one, but myriad. It could be marketing, bad trust, bad combination, simply bad photography, bad acting. Anything could make a good film go wrong, a good idea go wrong. So there have been many like that, unsung films. And what I'm trying to do is remake them in another garb. It has worked again. I'm not going to tell you which, because you'll nitpick. And Sir.
This theme of VISTA, inspire, aspire and achieve. What still continues to inspire, achieve and aspire you? What keeps you going on, to doing in the pursuit of what is it that's something which you continue to?
A better film inspires me. A better film than mine, preferably. Just a better film than another doesn't actually goad me to aspire to make it. A better film than mine inspires, instigates, makes me angry, and make myself look into my intellectual mirror and weigh myself. I think the pressure has to come from the peers. Healthy pressure from the peers. The other two will follow suit. And the other two will automatically happen because I have aspired or been inspired by that. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Vidisha. I want to ask you about your take on today's movie, where most of the movie is mainly focused on your technical aspect rather than acting. So we don't see much of the artist portray on the movie. So what is your aspect?
See, good acting, with due respect to Parsi theatre, good acting is something where you see, what happened? He didn't act. So if you see Kevin Spacey, it looks like the man is still. It's only now you understand Brando's performance. Because he is doing nothing while we were doing Kathakali. He was into movie acting. I'm not making fun of it. Kathakali is not difficult. Not every man can do it. But we were into that Nautanki style of performance, kabuki kind of thing. You can see that in old Kurosawa films. The concept is great, but the actors are guttural in tone, and it's a falsetto voice or a false guttural tone that they're taking, and the stance is very no theater like. But acting is also a technique, and makeup is a technique, cinematography is a technique. The fusion and almost total invisibility of all these arts. If one surfaces and you call this a technical film, I think you've started watching the corner of the screen rather than the center. So I think if you say that technique is overpowering the thing and you're not able to enjoy the film, then there is a little flaw. But in our business, when the till rings, everything is right. Even if sold ticket, everything is right.
I have one request to you. Can you say one dialogue of from that movie? It says in lady voice that Lakshmi.
Ish, kyun?
When I think of Kamal Haasan, I think of two things. One is movies and another is language Tamil. So lately I have been seeing from around me and from social media sites where it is portrayed that Tamil is being forgotten by Tamilians themselves. So what is your take on this? Do you believe this? And if so...
What, Tamil is being forwarded?
Yes, Tamil is being slowly forgotten. Forgotten.
Forgotten?
Yes. So do you believe this? And if this is a trend, how do you propose we change this?
No, it was not personally directed at you. It's directed at me also. Because I love Tamil so much, I should have had an interpreter and spoken in Tamil. I could have done better. This is not my language. We are all Anglophiles by enslavement. But it has helped us educate. So it's a good trade-off. So I enjoy that kind of slavery. But apart from that, there are certain things that Malayalam will die a little slower than Tamil. The reason is, in Malayalam, if you say Nandi, they won't look at you in a funny way. But if you say Nandri in Tamil, you are either a politician, a Tamil teacher, or a nut. So that's the state of the language now. Nobody says I love you in Tamil. Have you? I tried on my first date. It was a disaster. And so I never expressed my love in Tamil ever after that. It's always, I love you. It sounds grander somehow. But that's what is ailing us. And that's why Tamil inimella chahu. Anal migamella.
Actor, all-time favorite actor from the Hindi film industry. Actor and as well as actress.
So that it doesn't look like lip service, I will show you who's my favorite actor. He is my favorite actor. You can't see it. First row people can see it. That's Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Khan, alias Dilip Kumar Sahab. And I am grateful to one actor who became the primer for me to understand Mr. Dilip Kumar and Brando, Mr. Shivaji Ganesan. He was the only sun I saw in my horizon when I woke up to cinema. And it is through that light that I have now become his fan. I have to graduate too, like you. And I'm ever grateful. I've not forgotten my roots. And I'll tell you why. Because even today, Mr. Yusuf Khan makes me think whether he was 40 years before me or just 2. That's frightening. I have told him that. And when somebody said, they thought he's old, so people assume that older people are deaf. So the people always shout to Mr. Dilip Kumar, which he doesn't like. It's something I found. And everybody tries to say, you know, Mr. Kamal Haasan is saying that all actors of even today, and he was munching a sandwich, and he was looking away. And they further thought he's not hearing. They became louder. He wanted to avoid that subject because he didn't want to say anything amiss. Because I could see from his face what he thought of today's acting. And he turned his face away and they kept insisting that today's actors imitate you. Yeah, but why? He said. Because I could see from his face what he thought of today's acting. And he turned his face away and they kept insisting that today's actors imitate you. Yeah, but why? He said. That was his answer. A brilliant man, brilliant actor, erudite and educated, not only in cinema, but even he's a scholar. He is a very important man. He did what we are trying to do today 40 years back. Go see Mogalyasan, and her complaint about technology and no acting will be evident even there.
I really want to know about the status of Maridhanayagam. And one more question I have.
Because that's a very short answer.
3 years back, I saw you in Jakuba, Jakubai movie, press meet something. Okay, that time you are still the same. I thought when I heard in IIMB you are coming, I thought you will be little old, but you are still giving a competition to us. What is the reason?
No, I wouldn't like to belie your expectation, but you misplaced it. I am old and little. So that happens. I first should say thank you. I think it's the lighting. I should thank the lighting also. I think we believe in good lighting, and this probably is a well-lit hall. And also I keep myself happy. If you want to know the secret of this maintenance, but I hope you enjoyed this conversation, this intercourse. I enjoyed it. I'm taking back knowledge. Without these questions, I wouldn't have thought of these answers. So even without me asking questions, I've got answers. Now I'll go seek questions. Thank you.
Thank you for those valuable insights. I'm sure all of us gathered over here have learned some management lessons which probably we couldn't have learned otherwise. Thanks a lot, sir.
Events like VISTA start on paper and go way beyond what we planned initially because of how we all come together as one to give the event the momentum for a fabulous start. I, on behalf of VISTA 2013 and the entire IIM Bangalore community, would like to extend a hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Kamal Haasan for gracing this occasion with his presence and for allowing us a glimpse into his amazing thoughts. Sir, you have enlivened this session and gave us plenty to think about and about new career paths. Thank you. I also wish to express my gratitude to Professor Padmashri Srinivasan for her encouragement and support in making this event a success. Thank you, ma'am. I also extend my thanks to Mohit Kandelwal, FII Secretary, and the entire VISTA team for managing everything from sponsorships to logistics and publicity to events. Well, this is how we learn management at IIM Bangalore.
I would also like to thank the student president, Prajit Narayan, the Student Affairs Council, all the student bodies and volunteers for making today possible. I would also like to thank the college administration for their enormous cooperation in organizing VISTA. Also, I would like to thank our media partners and sponsors for supporting every initiative. Thank you, everyone.